immediately goes into what you referred to minutes ago as TV talk.
TV talk.
I believe a prepared monologue in which he touched on a few things in under 14 seconds. His sister having kids. He's never been in love. He's happy to be here. And he can't wait to get to know her. Blah, 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 blah.
I love the power of becoming an uncle. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of Another Bachelor Podcast. My name is Dylan. I am back in the stew with my buddies, Real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
And producer Patrick Hickey.
Hi, everybody.
Happy to be back with you guys.
Yeah, it's good to have you in studio.
Is this the first one back? My head's a mush.
Yes, you did do our our sister podcast Below Deck Monday.
Also,
I'm surprised
PMZ
more
on
birdies.
Patreon and Flavor of Love.
Hey,
if you want that,
I'll get to that when I do my PSAs.
Okay, got it.
But I want to say, Dylan, I'm really proud of the birdies. I have my issues with them out there, squawking off in that nest, crossing the line quite a bit.
They have a tremendous disdain for our fans.
No, I love them, but they talk too much. They did not really mention that they were irritated with you and your phone voice, you calling in. I was really happy. It was very big of them not to chime in on that topic.
You got anything to add to this?
I think the quarantine has desensitized people to the Zoom audio, and it's just run of the mill. But when we are all in the room, it just makes us that much better. People don't realize it, but they enjoy us.
And remember, guys, in 2021, there's a rainbow of sounds out there. Don't settle for Zooms. We got to move past that. Mm-hmm. Their stock has to go down. It's insane.
I heard it already did. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we got to get into ABC's The Bachelorette with Tasha and Claire. But before we do, you got any PSAs?
Yes, I do. Thank you, Dylan.
Yeah.
I want to thank everybody out there that's listening that ponied up the $5 to pay us for what we've done over the last 3 years. And, of course, what we're offering now behind that paywall.
Don't want to be a cheapo.
Seeing as that the audience that listens to this on a weekly basis could fill up a stadium, there's a lot of you cheap bastards out there. And I'm getting really tired of this. I don't like seeing the downloads of how many people listen to this and then how many people actually feel that they owe us money.
Yeah. It's like if a bunch of people in the Azteca Stadium, because that's what we would fill out.
With proper social distancing.
Of course.
Proper social distancing. They're just like not supporting the food vendors. Perfect analogy. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. So this is what I'm going to say, because some of the birdies and barnacles in our other property Below Deck have been like, hey, Pat, shut up about it. We're sick of hearing it at Top Show. You eat up the first 5 minutes of the damn podcast. I fast forward through it.
Find a new strategy, because he's not going to stop.
But I will if we hit 500.
Oh, okay.
Which we're about 50 people out. Okay, so if you've been on the fence about it and then you're like, God, will we shut up about this? That's one way to make me shut up about it. And this is what I want to say. This week in PMZ that's over there behind that paywall, drops in a couple days as you're hearing this. Yeah. We're going to catch up with John and Kate +8 and how miserable those people are. Fun. We're going to go over the history of Arnold Schwarzenegger and that illegitimate child that he squired with the nanny.
A lot like Meet the Fockers, yeah.
Totally crazy. And we're going to go over co-stars that hate each other. It's just a lot of fun. So if that excites you, any of those topics,
tapping the watch now.
Get over there to patreon.com/Another Podcast Network and give us $5 and let's hit that 500 before Christmas.
And don't forget about Flavor of Love. All right, so a hell of an episode, episode 6, one episode after the mid-season premiere, which is a rarity. Mm-hmm. Let's get into thoughts let's get into general thoughts. Too many shows.
Too many.
Nick, I'm going to let Pat go first.
You
Kidding.
Sure?
No, you just talked
for way too
long. Way too long, Nick, go.
I like it when Pat talks for a long time, and so you want someone else to speak.
Yeah.
But then I kick it back to him. Go.
All right, okay.
You guys are taking the power back, and it's making me angry.
This is episode 6, and I have to say this was just an okay episode.
Okay.
I want to say this. Thank God for the OG property on this franchise, which is The Bachelor, because it's much more fun to watch 20 crazy ladies run around the house and lose their minds over a dude than 20 mediocre looking guys that are kind of boring fawn over a really nice bachelorette who doesn't really want to make waves, which is what's happening here. And this episode fully showcased that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bored.
So disagree.
When that Matt James trailer came up in the middle of the show or the episode,
cares?
I was like, woo, I cannot wait for that to start. Yeah. I can't wait. And I was licking my chops at Matt James. So I'm going to say this episode was 10 rose petals. It was okay, but I hope I don't see more of this in the future. I better see some drama.
10 rose petals out of 100? Just an okay episode? Now that we got that, Nick?
I'm absolutely shocked at what Pat thought of this episode. What we saw, we liked the early season with Claire despite not liking Claire, but I think a lot of it hung on gimmicks. And my middle school basketball coach told me if the defense comes out with gimmick defense, they're full court press right away, aggressive trapping, it's because they know you're better than them. So they have to pull out these stops to bring in some variability and just like see what can happen.
Sure.
And that's what they were doing with this. But now we have a strong lead with Tayshia. She's a confident, sexy woman.
Yep.
And this was just like classic Bachelor by the numbers, but I was riveted. I thought they were going to be throwing fists. 92 petals.
Yeah.
You were riveted by something you just described painted by the numbers.
Your general thoughts are done, mister. Okay.
And yes, I was riveted.
Yes.
I was riveted, just like Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting, to that paint by number.
Okay, so I completely agree with Nick. It's refreshing to see someone this open and this nice about everything. She's got a Jackie-O type poise, and it's wonderful to watch. I don't know who she's gonna fall in love with. You know, she's being so nice to everybody and giving everybody such a huge chance. Even Chasen. Speaking of the episode, Chasen, Ed, Bennett. I mean, the hits kept coming. 97 pots.
No.
All right.
I've got a bone to pick with
Hey,
Jason.
before we jump into this,
You do.
Before we jump into this, could you guys allow me to entertain myself with a thought that I was thinking last night when I was watching that Matt James trailer of him being the Bachelor?
All right, fine.
Imagine, this.
If you will.
If Dale was watching that last night and probably losing his mind, going, that should have been me.
Totally.
Right? Like, I'm with this 39-year-old crazy person, and I can't wait to dump her because I should have been the Bachelor. And so...
Say 32?
39. Oh, he's 32.
Got it.
So it got me to thinking, imagine if Matt's season hadn't gotten filmed yet, right? And Dale didn't know, he was still in the dark. And then a producer called Dale and recorded the call. And it went something like this.
Okay.
Ring, 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 ring. Okay. Hello. Oh, hey. He's talking to Dale. Okay. Hey, this is Jonathan over at casting from The Bachelor. Oh, hey, man, how's it going? Oh, it's doing great. We're doing great.
Yeah.
How you doing with Claire? Oh, we're so in love. Oh, that's great. That's great. Hey, get this. You know that Matt James guy that was going to be The Bachelor? Yeah, it turns out it's not going to work out with him. And we start shooting in February. And, I had a thought. It's a crazy thought. Yeah. We've been looking at the numbers in you and Claire in that first 4 episodes. They're off the fucking chart. Okay. America has fallen in love with you, Dale. Okay. So I'm just throwing this out there. Look, I'm just throwing this out there. If there's a chance that it doesn't work out with Claire, would you be interested in being The Bachelor? We start filming in February. And if the response by Dale, which I believe it would be, how would that work? We go, gotcha!
Just kidding, it's Claire. It was Claire on the other.
For the purpose of what?
Just to catch him.
Just embarrassing Dale.
Yes.
It's Claire.
Did you smoke a blunt before we started the show?
What's your problem with good old-fashioned gotcha journalism?
I gotcha!
Roast the son of a bitch.
All right, we began this.
No.
I mean, Pat goes, all right, Dilly, you keep us on track tonight, okay?
I just want to say that I think that scenario could play out, but the call would sound a lot more like this. Hey, Dale, what's up? This is Lauren. I've got some actually really exciting news. Matt James is dropped out.
We begin this evening on the familiar grounds of the La Quinta, a Shawshank Astoria resort. We've got some solid TV talk from Ben, Nick's favorite. Oh, boy. And then we get a bit of, remember we have a group date, America.
Right.
Pat, need a roll call.
All right, this isn't going to be a roll call. I'm just going to name the guys that are on this date.
Just do it. on-air production, I've thought about, tossing this Nick's way because Nick's...
Hey, I got a roll call later on during the rose ceremony. I'm not going to do 4 roll calls in a show.
Sometimes you can just say the names, though.
Yeah,
until
that's
the
what I'm
last
saying.
one.
Like, toss over to Nick for the new...
I have the names.
Let's move on.
All right, this is what's interesting about the people on this group date. 4 of them, I have no idea who they are and was shocked by their names.
Sure.
This is the 6th episode.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Ben, obviously I know him. Montel, no clue. Chasen, I know him. Ivan, I know him. Lamar, no clue who this guy is. Ed, Joe the Asian, and then Gay Superman.
Is it
AKA definitely didn't go to Harvard.
Sure.
Bennett.
I'm really excited to talk about that.
Me too.
So Tasia says she's got some friends to help with this date. A couple waiting in line at Disneyland voices come over the speaker. You know what I mean? And they echo throughout this creepy room with mannequins and desks and babies. And of course, it's revealed to be fan favorites Ashley Iaconetti and Jared, who are the picture of a successful 1-year relationship. Marriage, excuse me.
Now, all right, I forgot what rating I gave this episode in my review at the top of the show, but I'm going to deduct 14 points from that just because these 2 idiots were on this show.
So you're going to be coming in at a whopping -4.
I can't stand Rat Boy and the Crier.
Yeah.
America has spoken, and they hate them. They did a web series on YouTube about the weeks leading up to their wedding.
YouTube. Yeah.
Did not set the world on fire. Nobody watched it. People hate them.
It was too long. It was 45 minutes long.
She is absolutely so unlikable.
I don't think so.
She's got his balls in her purse. He is such a weak little dweeb. I can't stand him.
Well, we talked about it. Maybe the ultimate destination for all husbands is to wither away into this kind of welcome mat that people just walk all over.
I'll end this my point and my disparaging of this couple by saying this. This challenge is for the grown-ass man, and someone will lose, and they'll give it to the grown-ass child.
Sure.
Jared 100% would get the gold medal for grown-ass child.
Okay, well, he is on one tonight. You hear that?
And his man-child.
Vitriol. Vitriol in his voice. All right, so a math and reading test is going to be administered to find out which one is a grown-ass man and which one is Ed. So this rudimentary cognitive gauntlet should be pretty easy for a guy in finance who went to Harvard. Unfortunately for Bennett, he went to Phoenix, and working as a cash register doesn't really count. It's not really fun. I know you're handling money, but
I think if he worked at a cash register, he would have did eons better at this type of competition. Simple math. I'm going back to line cook.
Yeah,
the man is the line cook.
Yeah, at a Waffle House.
Not a wealth management investor.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
My favorite thing is that he's disgusted with a lot of the questions. They're like, spell limousine. He's like, you got to be kidding me.
Rizzuto's not a word. He's a baseball player.
Guys, let me ask you this. There were a few theories there floated out on that Facebook page of ours today about Bennett here.
Yeah.
Did he in fact go to Harvard? But it's like maybe his parents were like Lori Loughlin and Massimo. They got him in the school. And once you're in Harvard, by the way, I've heard people that have gone to Harvard and you just sign up for some of those dumb classes, like being like some dance spiritual class, and you get a degree in it. You just coast. It's getting in there that is the hard part.
And he could be a legacy.
Right, legacy. So was it that, or he is an imposter?
Yeah, he went to Phoenix University. He's a line cook.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Oh, that's
what
the theory.
I'm saying.
100% the theory. Okay.
We established.
Well, I was going to say, but he now...
The jig is up, Pat.
Okay, so we haven't done a background check to see if he is in fact a wealth management.
No, we did Phoenix. Line cook.
Oh, okay. Because my thing on this is I fully believe when you do the math on money that you invest in, never give these idiots that money. You never get the return on it. Go invest in properties.
Do some reading if you're going to get into stocks. Listen, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some.
Can you imagine this guy is betting the house, your money?
Yeah, no thanks.
If they're half their weight in salt, they're only going to take a percentage on profits,
Yeah.
But you're just not going to find that in these guys because they're shysters and crooks.
All right, next
And
up,
line cooks.
next up is an MTV's challenge type event. TJ, I offer myself up for purgatory. It's a tug of war at the waist. There's a lot here, a lot of narrative within this event. One, we've got Ivan, incredibly fortunate to go up against Asian Joe, incredibly fortunate, who is in a usual suspects type of twist, still here.
All right, let me tell you this. My wife is really attracted to him. I don't see it.
Okay.
She says he's one. She likes Chasen, the
my
Wolverine.
God.
And she's hot for Joe the Asian. She likes that he's an anesthesiologist. That it looks really good on paper, and she thinks he's a looker. Look.
Put me down. You know what I mean?
His job title somehow gives Cherie an actual physical attraction to the man, even through the TV screen. I love that.
Yeah.
Joe, I get more than Chasen. Chasen looks like he got the shit beat out of him when he was a kid, or took a bad bike fall or something. I do not like that guy, but we'll get to him. I kind of feel bad for him. We get Luca Brasi up next versus the Army Man. I have here in parentheses, get ready for Nick to say something weirdly passionate about Ben.
I actually
could have sworn it was coming.
I actually believe that's later when he sits down with Tasha. I'm just very impressed by the man. He's taking the nation by storm.
All right.
We'll wait for it.
Yeah, so Luca Brasi, Ed, classic all leg kind of guy. Classic all leg kind of guy. You have to, if you're going to pour yourself into fitness, you have to balance it out. Yeah, just have to balance it out.
You can't just do all this from the waist up.
Can't do it.
He's been reaping the rewards of this at 2 a.m. Pulling girls out of a bar because they're not making him pull up his pants.
Exactly.
But when you're surrounded by 19 other alphas, they're gonna call you out in your chicken legs.
Yep.
You got to be well-rounded.
Yep, I've been called chicken legs before. It hurts.
It threw him into a tizzy. He's like, I'm fucking telling.
Yeah. Okay. So Bennett is not participating because of a football injury, which also there's no chance in the world that is true. I think he probably got, some back alley sutures on a stab wound he doesn't want to open up. I mean, this guy.
We need a background check.
We've done the background check.
We need another one.
All right. Next is cooking. It's an art that I know a thing or two about. Can I run down a few of these? I feel like I've been talking forever, but I'll go ahead. DeMar gives her a mimosa because they do Sunday fun days well in Palm Springs.
Scottsdale.
Oh.
Big ASU.
Oh, Scottsdale is the ones that excel with brunch.
Because it's just college blonde girls that are looking for that. I bet there's a number of establishments that do that.
Okay. Come on down to West Hollywood. I'll show you some giddy gentlemen that'll drink you under the table. All right. Ed almost has an aneurysm trying to do push-ups with Tasha on his back. Chasen, who, much like Jason of last week, should not be exploited by the mouse. He should be with friends and family, constantly monitored in a very soft room. Then Bennett up next. Let's listen to Ashley and Jared break down how he excelled in this competition.
Just Bennett took it over the top with the robe and then getting in bed.
He made it more of an intimate moment, and when she was sitting next to him, it looked like she forgot about everybody else in the room.
He made a smoothie and put donuts on a plate. That's exact. What are we supposed to believe? What was this cooking segment? We're supposed to believe that he whipped up oversized filled beignets?
Or he just took them from the catering table over in production.
He took them from craft services, made a smoothie, jumped into bed with her.
The man works in the kitchen. If there's one thing he's good at, he was like, this is it.
That's why they cut it out of the show, but Tasha was like, how did you make such perfect scratch-baked beignets?
This, by the way, I'm sorry. I don't want to seem like a real downer, but this whole date sucked. I hated it.
I don't think so at all. Production clearly has been listening to this podcast because they are starting to rather brutally make a mockery out of Ed. He gets the Big Dumb Baby Award for no reason whatsoever.
Because he looks like a big dumb baby, let's be honest.
They're just like, hey, Ed, take this.
Call him Meathead Ed.
I'm not going to call him Meathead Ed.
Yeah, usually nicknames should be shorter. I think you'd have a chance.
You don't get the hijacks Luca Brasi and then go Meathead.
If we write up like a summary of this episode, we'll call him Meathead Ed for you.
Sure. Hey, I got money. I'm betting it now. All right, birdies, you can remember this. Like, put it down on paper or something like that. I am going to wager $300 to Nick and Dylan that he will be on Bachelor in Paradise in 2021, and he will bring a baby down those stairs to meet Chris Harrison.
Great bet.
I'm not going to take that bet.
You're not.
I don't want to take it either.
I agree.
I want 3-1 odds on that.
Oh, okay.
But I'll take that bet.
So
Oh, no.
if you win, you get 100.
He gets 3.
Yeah. You.
No, I'm not going to take that either.
What about 150, 100? I'll do it.
Okay, so we got to move on.
No, let's make some deals.
No, we can't
I gotta
do that.
gamble. I need the itch.
So,
Bellator's not till tomorrow.
You know what? I kind of fell in love with that here. I'll lose that later on in the episode.
Yeah,
but
you fell in love at this point in the episode.
At this point in the episode, he takes it like a cutie pie.
Yes, he did.
You know, she wants a name for it. He immediately rattles off Carlos, then turns around to the guys. Looks like he took a shit in his pants.
Mm-hmm.
He's being really cute about the whole thing.
Yes, good sport.
He was a good sport. He had that Carlos thing. That's no mistake. The man is naming his first child Carlos. I guarantee you.
I think it's a middle name or something. He could be Spanish and not a big old sausage-eating Italian.
I think it was a joke because he knows Tayshia's half Mexican, which not a lot of people do.
Maybe that. All right, so Bennett gets the award, and Chasen is really horrified by Bennett's behavior. Chasen's the guy that steps up and does the lion's share of TV talk for production.
Yes.
There's always a few that take the process very seriously, and you're like,
Slow down.
you're freaking us out. Stop. You sound really stupid. But Ed hits it right on the head. He's like, Chasen just keeps repeating a carousel of what he thinks he's supposed to say. Right. That's perfect.
He's right on the money.
Yeah.
We can all agree with that.
Yeah.
However,
Don't be a weasel. Don't be a rat.
4 times.
We'll get there. All right.
That's what short, upper body, heavy
Yeah.
chicken leg guys do.
Yeah,
They
little-
rat and tattle.
Yeah,
on
a
others.
little reverse bowling pin rat. That's what it is. All right, nighttime.
Night date.
Upside down pair.
Why don't we let Bennett play us into this one?
Yeah, I just, wanted to wear the robe. I was hoping to pick right up where we sort of left off.
Oh, you're funny.
If you don't mind, I'd like to kind of get things going just real quickly. We'll take 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm just gonna say hi to everyone first, though. Is that cool?
Of course.
Okay.
Whatever the girl wants, the girl gets.
All right, Dylan, I think there's a lot going on here. First, I think she despises Bennett,
Despises
number one. Secondly, I think she's a little put off at the moment because producers had just told her she needs to set up what's going to happen and give a little
sure.
speech.
Yeah.
And he kind of threw her off, and she's kind of looking around like, I don't know how I should react to this.
Yeah.
idiot.
She is a pro, though. I'm
Yeah.
serious. She's a fucking pro because even that Ivan date, like he's got the blindfold on her and it made me want to throw up. It was so awkward, but she's giving him a chance. She's being polite about it. There are all these things that throw her off and she handles it like fucking Peyton Manning, in the fourth. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Keep in mind, we've learned this kind of interacting or interviewing a lot of people on this show over the years. And they are all ensconced with each other. Did I say that right?
Yeah, sure.
And I think they know fake, and then they already become kind of fake as they're outside. And so my wife thinks she's fake as hell, by the way.
My girlfriend does too.
As well, yeah.
Cece loves Tayshia, but yeah, they're
she's playing the game better than anybody. She wants to tell these guys to fuck off. I would say she wants to be Rachel Lindsay, but she's holding in it.
I don't know that she's necessarily fake when she carries it outside. Who could say? But I will say that she's, of course, acting here because this is what a true professional does. They fake like they're interested in 30 men when they see 2, and they're like, I want to fuck them now and get rid of everyone.
That being said,
That's what happens every year.
That being said, despite the fakeness, like she's good at it because I don't know. Like I was lamenting about spoilers and whatever have you. From this point, I don't know what's happening. I do not know who's going to win this competition.
Yeah, Brandon.
She'll pick someone. They'll date for 3 months. She'll go on Dancing with the Stars.
I
They'll
think
do
you're
a
a
mutual
rookie
Instagram
thinking it's
breakup
Brenda.
post, and
No, I
that'll
don't
be
think
the
I'm a
end of it.
rookie.
That's how it always ends.
Come on.
But
You think I'm a rookie? Come on.
But which guy?
I predicted the last, and it's not difficult to predict, but I got the first year we did it, I picked right. The second year we did it, I picked runner-up.
First off,
I picked
be
Colton.
quiet. Peter Weber
And Garrett.
When we did it, I picked Kelly. Who'd Peter Weber end up with? Kelly. He's with Kelly now. They're engaged.
We got to get Dolores on this. This is going to be fun. We've all had
filthy liar.
We've
You're
all
a filthy liar.
I said Garrett.
All right, we're going all over the place.
All right. So can I?
It's my fault.
So Chasen actually steals away, not Bennett.
Yeah.
And by the way, she just moves real quick.
She made a real nice little turn when he asked her for the 2 minutes. She was very, very easily said, "Why don't you hang on a second?" If Chase had asked her, she could have easily said, "You know what? He just asked me for 2 minutes. I'm going to go with him." No interest in that.
She
whatsoever.
did what I do, and I've talked to you guys about this. You do kind of a similar thing. You're at a cocktail party. You're bored to pieces with whoever you're talking to, and you're kind of looking like, how can I get out of this? How can
Nobody bring me food. Nobody bring me food.
And then you excuse yourself to the bathroom. She, in essence, excused herself in the bathroom to get the hell away from Bennett.
Yeah.
All right, so she goes over with Bennett. He steals her, and he immediately goes into what you referred to minutes ago as TV talk. I believe a prepared monologue in which he touched on a few things in under 14 seconds. His sister having kids. He's never been in love. He's happy to be here. And he can't wait to get to know her. Blah, 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 blah.
I love that.
He didn't take a breath throughout the thing. He was just like, he finished his script. He's like, that was it. Flop sweat.
Your smoke show, what'd you think? I love the power of becoming an uncle. You're not even a child. You're an uncle. Never going to see that kid. Okay.
That guy is going to have an Instagram filled with pictures holding his baby, specifying that isn't his baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to get people wet. All right, so Ben up next. He does a fantastic job early on in the evening, then proceeds to pull a chase.
Oh, don't get ahead of yourself.
But right now he's doing a fantastic job. He brings up what I'm going to call attractive trauma. It's normal trauma. He was in love, and the loss of that love made him a little tender when he was going back. It's very relatable. It shows that you're sensitive and open. It has nothing to do with drugs. Somebody
Cancer.
dying. Yeah, just keep it light.
Keep it light. It comes off as a actual real conversation you might have if you're on a date getting to know somebody.
Sure.
I did appreciate that. However, I did have one issue with their little interaction here. Yeah. He asked permission to kiss her. Now, I've been taught by my wife for the last 8 years, this disgusts her. You don't ask, you just go in for it.
You got to do it cutely.
Right. It can be a turnoff to women. Hey, Barnacles, get in that Facebook group. Let us know. Do a post about
Love
if this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Love that cue.
Because my wife, usually we have sex on Sundays. I've learned through this, never ask her, hey, I'll be in my boxers and dance around looking cute. And
what do you think about fucking right now, hon?
I don't say fucking, but I kind of throw it out there, and she'll kind of like go, ugh. Like... Yeah. She wants me to just dive in, do muff dive or something. I don't know.
All right.
She wants you to make a move, like pull up behind her.
Hey, keep the spark up.
But that's a little unfair because how many times do you do that and then you get your hand smacked away and I'm tired?
That's right. That's right. It happens.
But also, I would say maybe find a middle ground between, hey, honey, you want to go get fucking and diving into her vagina with your face. Yeah, that's something in the middle.
Yeah. Also, I don't know if Cherie understands it. A lot of guys get in trouble with just trying to make out with a girl without making sure she's going to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, so Ben, a couple things going on. Ben is playing it safe. I usually disagree. I'm like you guys. Like I think it kills the moment when you ask.
Yeah, gotta do it cute.
I thought he did it cute. I thought
he did it cute.
I thought he passed the bar of doing it cute.
Yeah.
What was not? I learned that you should do this though from Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves.
Yeah. Perfect.
They learned that the daughter is very mature because a boy tries to kiss her when they have a party, and they're small, the parents, right? But they watch her. A boy attempt to kiss her, and she pushes him away, and she's like, "No, you ask me." And they're like, "Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Way to stand up for yourself."
Yeah, and then through the power of that pride and that happiness in their daughter, Rick Moranis shoots up.
When does Netflix rehash that piece of shit?
He got punched in the face. We are ripe for a new Honey, We something.
He was in a commercial the other day. He's working again.
Yeah, because he got punched in the face. That was a PR move if I've ever smelt one.
It was pretty brilliant. Better than a noose. Up next, Ivan. He and Tasha want to start an empire together, evidently. You like that one, Pat?
Well, I think it's a little ambitious. Let's start with
Let's start with a condo.
There you go.
Then you can have an empire.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I didn't like the Empire talk either from Ivan. Yeah, like, okay, Jesse Smollett.
What? Oh,
Empire Fox.
God, 2 Jesse Smollett jokes tonight.
No, the first one was that.
No, I had a Jussie Smollett joke.
You did?
Yeah.
I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
So she calls him the dark horse of the competition, and this is where the blind. God damn it! Is that a 70-calorie one?
Yeah. It's delicious. It's pineapple.
Okay. All right. Foul beverage.
I brought all 8 flavors of White Claw tonight.
Foul beverage.
9.
So, as I said before, this made me want to throw up. What is this?
7.
What? Who enjoys this?
The blindfold thing.
You take away my sight and then you start putting shit in my mouth. I don't care if it's a fresh fruit. I don't like this.
It's like #me too. I mean,
Not even, just like unpleasant. What are you going to talk about? Are you just going to uncomfortably laugh?
Hey guys, you know I don't like to talk about myself, and especially my past sexual exploits. However, in 2006, I started dating this older girl. And we went and saw Real Big Fish.
Is this
it was a
72-year-old?
lovely concert. No. She was probably like 40 when I was like 30 or something.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, she brings me back to her apartment, and we start making out and all this stuff. She's like, will you let me do something to you? I'm like, oh, no. I mean, we got a finger in the ass or something. Fuck. And I said, sure. She says, close your eyes. She did the blindfold on me.
You went sure without
then
knowing
she
what it was.
tied me
Okay.
to the bed
Okay.
and proceeded to climb on top of me and start pounding away on me. I was not into it. I did not give her any feedback back that I was enjoying this at all.
Sure.
I actually felt like when a girl is not into sex and then the guy's finishing up on you.
Yeah.
It was exactly like that. But
It's like
exactly,
that Chappelle sketch.
I never saw that sketch, but I lived
wrap it up.
So wrap it up.
You know what? I finished the date or the one night stand or whatever the hell that was, and I never called her back. I never wanted to be blindfolded or have to go through this again.
You got anything like that?
Never done it.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, so we find out here what evidently Bennett and Ed are going to find out later, that Chasen's nickname is the Wolverine. Do you guys want to break down this drama? I was starting to type about it, and then I realized that I didn't care.
I don't care.
I was super fucking pissed. I've often called myself Wolverine for my high immune system and healing powers, and it just made me irate that he thinks being a fucking bully makes you Wolverine. No, it's much more than that. I bet he gets sick all the time.
Okay, so have you ever
Please,
you ever broken a bone?
in my foot,
I don't know. How quick do you heal?
pretty quick.
Okay, well, that checks. That checks out. All right, so this whole fighting leads to Ed picking up the most undesirable of mantles, the death blow of this competition. You rats. Disgusting.
Really disgusting. He basically goes to Tasha, tells her everything, basically saying that this Jason was telling Claire just a week earlier, same lines of bullshit.
You never rat?
You don't rat. It's
You don't die. I don't die.
It is at the very best. It is harikari because it's you're killing yourself.
Absolutely.
At I guess at its very worst, it's mutual destruction, or maybe that's what he's trying to do: kill him and kill himself.
I think he's delusional enough to think that he's got a shot.
Either way, it's a completely bitch move. I was so starting to like Meathead Ed, or as you refer to him, Luca Brats.
Luca Brats, yeah.
Right. The thing that bothered me is that he rats him out, and then he sits down at the chair with the group of guys, and they're like, hey, what happened? Would you tell her? How'd it go?
I just ratted this fucker out.
Or he's like just like Asperger. How do you not know that that's not going to come off well?
Well, I don't know. I there's Aspergery, but I think that he does seem like he's, I don't know, got more than a couple marbles knocking around up there.
Yeah.
He does.
Bennett said he got a perfect score on the math SAT.
Yeah, and I believe Bennett. As
Oh,
far
sure
as I
you
can
do.
fucking throw him. No, but he seems smart because he, in terms of ratting, he does it flawlessly well. He lays out a pretty damning case. Like, hey, this guy's been saying the same superlative bullshit about 2 different women now. And then she's like, well, what did he say when you approached him with that? And he's like, You just call me chicken legs.
Like, oh man, that was just a great like punchline to the whole thing, but also the linchpin to make what made him fly off the handle and go stomp to mommy. That chicken legs thing you're gonna see Wolverine chase him if you call him chicken legs one more time, because he will not stand for that.
Yeah.
There are certain things you can say to a guy or lady that gets stuck in their craw.
Everybody's different,
and they won't let it go. They will try and destroy your life. I've done that to many people and been.
What's the worst thing you ever called somebody?
The worst thing I ever called somebody, fucking loser.
Oh, okay.
I think
so.
so.
You called Nick then. That took a while to get over.
Was that 2018 when Nick and I didn't talk for a complete year?
Yeah. Not a year, 6 months. It was a long 6 months though.
We're professionals, guys. You never knew. So, anyways, Tayshia confronts. Yep.
I just wanted to say about Wolverine. That like
you talking about yourself?
No, that a lot of people think that the adamantium claws make Wolverine. No, it is the healing powers and the immune system. That's what allowed him to be injected with the adamantium claws. And skeletal system.
Yeah, exactly. He was a freak. They got a hold of. They decided to put some fancy shit up inside him, and it is fancy. And the adamantium really has become part of who he is. While it's not as important as the healing, the healing is what led him to be able to defeat Dark Phoenix in the third movie directed by Brett Ratner, which is a dog shit film. But
it is what makes him a really enticing Halloween costume.
I really hope I didn't make any E's or O's in that. I think it was directed by Brett Ratner. It's a terrible movie.
No, the third one was directed by Brett.
Yeah, the third one.
Is he in prison yet?
I'll tell you what, though. The second one and the first one to a certain degree, the second one is one of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
Saw it in theaters with my grandmother.
Phenomenal. The second X-Men, second Spider-Man. Anyways, back to The Bachelor.
Hey, all right, yeah. Can I say something? I'm going to say something controversial here.
Yep.
I kind of like Chasen.
Ugh.
I know. I started off by saying it was going to be controversial. I don't think he's done anything wrong here. He's just being a TV idiot. You know, but just because he said that stuff to Claire doesn't mean he doesn't have to get to say it to.
Yeah, I have a note down like Tayshia confronts him and she's like, I heard some concerning stuff that you may be here for your career.
Yeah, you're a fucking Instagram follower hunter.
No, but I mean, how many of them?
All of them.
My point is,
Yeah, his response was like, yeah. What?
Yeah. Go ask Bennett why he's here.
He's like, you should understand this. You're the first. You're the first African American from Bachelor Nation to pass 1 million followers. You know the whole.
Oh, really? Is she?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Rachel
for her.
Lindsay been stuck on like 977 for like 6 years.
I love that. I love that. You know what else I love is Rachel Lindsay. It just gets a little bit less diminished.
Tayshia is so much better than Rachel Lindsay.
Rachel Lindsay, being the first black Bachelorette.
Not that we need to compare them just because they're black. I'm just saying,
Oh, no, but I hate Rachel Lindsay.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I want to say, I don't know if you guys saw the controversy. Rachel came out and she hated the shot that Mickey loves of Tayshia bombastically stepping out of the pool.
Oh, she didn't like that?
She says, why do black women always have to be over-sexualized? And
what?
Blah, blah, blah. She's like, that's just like a trope that they use. One, I think we've seen every Bachelor showering in their first opening package.
Exploitative over-sexualizing is relegated to black women?
Mm-hmm. She said done over and over. My problem with it was, why don't we ask Tayshia how she feels about that? Because she did the scene and I bet she loves it. She's a strong, sexy, confident woman, unlike you, Rachel.
Rachel's all of those things.
Tayshia's the shit.
I just it's unbelievable that Rachel finds the time to comment on every ripple that comes out of Bachelor Nation.
It's sad.
All right, so Chasen heads back to the guys, and guys, grown-ass men don't act like this. It was...
Grown-ass men act like Ben.
It was unbelievable to hear this many men unironically use the phrase grown-ass men over and over and over again. It's like, guys, there are cameras pointed at you. This is so embarrassing.
Did Tayshia say this at some point in the past? Because they made it like it was
like a thing. She wants a grown-ass man. Probably.
I think said it, and the date was about it. But still, it's like, guys, the cameras around. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, but they're hammering this thing that just like no one caught on to, but they're trying to make it a thing. It's fetch. All right. Quit trying to make fetch happen.
Here's something interesting that happens when Chasen does come back to the group. Him and Meathead Ed start talking, and rather than threaten him at this point, that comes a little bit later, he does try and reason with him. He's like, hey, Meathead Ed, yeah, all right, I pivoted from Claire.
Sure.
All right, can you give me a break here?
Yeah.
I think he was trying to see if he could calm the waves a little bit at this point and say, will you stop talking to me? Like
Ed's a weird one.
My name is your last name, you idiot.
Ed's a formidable. Jason's not formidable in any way, shape, or form. He looks like a corn-fed, soldier, but he's cognitively through the floor,
Right.
So Ed going up against him, Ed's just like, dude, you're fucking you're easy meat. I'm gonna tear your asshole wide open, throw Snickers bars all over the ground, spray paint. Larry was here. That's what Leon tells me to do. Anyways. Okay.
Didn't follow a lot of it. But Pat said earlier that Chasen hasn't done anything. He hasn't done anything except fit this template of someone who's just a big fucking douchebag. Right. He lives in San Diego.
Yep.
He makes money off his looks. He fits all the pieces. And it's true. But he doesn't hide from it. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's fine.
There's a scene later. I'll play a clip where Tayshia says, look, you could have handled this better, Chasen. And she does a list of all the things he could have said. I'm getting ahead of myself.
All right. So one really embarrassing thing about Ben, you mentioned he does say he's a grown-ass man, but he also says that he doesn't play. What are you, Rosie Perez, Ben? I don't play.
Maybe he was huge In Living Color fan.
Yeah.
Because Homie don't play
Homie
that.
don't play.
I want to say
he
this.
looks it.
There's something interesting that happens here. All right, so Ben has already made out with Tayshia earlier in the episode. I think he thinks he's got this kind of he's positioned very well.
Yep.
And then when all this melee is going on between these other fools, he just sits back, as he should, in the comfortable chair and let them all destroy themselves, right?
Perfect.
But I think this set a bad precedent for Ben Gay over there, because what happens is...
Love it.
But it also applies to Bennett, so it's confusing.
Right. I've taken that away. He's no longer... He's the con man, Bennett. I'll find a better name for him. Anyway, so get this. Ben realizes this works, and it works in this situation. He's feeling pretty good about himself, and I don't want to get ahead of myself. Dylan touched on it. So comfortable with himself that he holds back too much.
Oh, and also like just the way that he speaks to her later, it gets into Chasen territory. Let's get to the rose ceremony.
Pre-ceremony. One last thing.
That's true.
All right. Nighttime pre-rose ceremony.
Yeah, it's time to bring out the inner Wolverine.
This is what made me like Chasen than the Wolverine.
When he says it's time to bring out my inner Wolverine.
No, he basically said,
I like this guy.
Hey, no more bullshit, no more backstabbing. Can we stop doing this? He kind of puts out the olive branch there, and here's my explanation, right? And he kind of lays it out there. I appreciate that.
He lays it out there like a fucking idiot. He just does it to a bigger audience, and Ed just bodies him again.
Well, him and Bennett are in cahoots at this point. He's like, he took umbrage with the word smoke show. Like him and Ed are going back and forth.
Yeah, because it's not a fucking adjective. He said, I came up with a new word. What do you do? Like, that's an accomplishment. I came up with a new word. It's smoke show.
And what was his old word? Did they clarify? Did I miss that? Because it sounded like they were like, oh, get a new word.
He said Cloud Nine a bunch, but that has nothing to do with the Bachelorette. But anyways, I thought it was a good move when Bennett kind of stepped over and took Carlos out of Ed's hands.
Oh, thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah.
So much, Dylan.
Yeah.
A great job of breaking the tension by Bennett. It actually was eerily reminiscent of season 4, episode 8 of Friends, the one with Chandler in the box.
Yeah.
Actually, apropos enough, a Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
But Chandler, of course, is in the box to make it up to Joey for kissing Kathy, while Joey and Kathy were still together, even though Joey wasn't really into Kathy. He just wanted Chandler to confess to him that he was into it, and he would have stepped aside like a man.
And then what happens?
So they're fighting at the table. It actually escapes me. I'm a little embarrassed what they were fighting about at the table. There was a lot of yelling going. It was probably a Ross and Rachel thing.
Yeah.
Definitely probably right smack dab in the middle of Ross and Rachel. And so it's all very awkward, right? And Chandler is literally in a wood box, okay? And it's silent, and then all of a sudden Chandler goes, probably the hardest I've ever laughed at Friends. He goes, he's in a box, by the way.
You said that.
A life-size
What's
box.
up next?
You can't see him at all. He goes, you can't tell, but I'm breaking the tension by mooning you guys.
That is really funny.
So yeah, that's like kind of what Bennett did when he grabbed Carlos in this awkward situation.
So too. So anyways,
going on my Instagram. I'll see you guys later.
Tayshia walks in and Chasen was right. She is a smoke show. She's so unbelievably gorgeous. Like I'm looking at her. I'm like, whoa. You know what I mean?
She's really pretty. I'm gonna say
so
something.
Pretty.
I think Tayshia's probably the most beautiful bachelorette we've ever had.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
I got to start digging in the archives of me fawning over Tayshia when she was first on this. And Pat.
I think you get better time suited doing other things.
And Pat.
Yeah.
With his conspiracy theory that she's got a weird belly button.
Right.
You still sticking behind that,
Yes.
Pat?
Yeah, she could be beautiful with a weird belly button.
Don't know where that comes from. All right,
she was wearing high-waisted bikinis.
Ben is up next. This is when he kind of turns into
boring Ben.
Chasen Light with the TV talk. He says that the worst part of the day was that he didn't get to kiss her all day. Hey, Ben, just be yourself. Pump the brakes a little bit. Remember, you don't know this person. You can't say things like the worst part of the day was that I wasn't kissing you all day. 1, creepy. 2, completely impractical.
I will say, though, Dylan, apparently it's working for her. She says there is chemistry.
Yeah, I'm shocked, Dylan. Ben's a grown-ass man. He's saying all the right lines. There's nothing creepy about it.
Oh,
he
my
missed her.
God.
The man missed her.
Worst part is I didn't get to kiss you all day long. Okay, Ben.
I've just been vigorously jerking off all day in anticipation.
Highlights or meanwhile here?
There's a montage of Tayshia's interactions with the various men. I would like to do a meanwhile.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Bennett and Meathead Ed laugh maniacally over how dumb Chasen is.
Yeah. He is pretty dumb.
Okay, but once again, my spidey sense is tingling. We have a compulsive liar in our midst. You guys have some theories on Bennett's past. I have some theories.
Take the word theory out of the fucking equation.
All right. Okay. Let me just throw out my theory. He absolutely did not go to Harvard. He is a compulsive liar. He, in fact, lives in a car. He is a version of Dirty John. He gets old, sad ladies to fall in love with him, convince them that they should open a Krabby Shack. They deplete their life savings to invest in the said franchise of Krabby Shack.
Them.
He launders all the money he can out of it, and then one day he just gets in that car and drives away, and somehow he's ended up on this show.
Yeah.
Our two theories are not mutually exclusive.
Yeah.
The
Fair
man
enough.
could have went to Phoenix Online, been a line cook, and fucking been Dirty John.
Yeah. And then he could have gotten that stab wound in back alley. Well, he got the sutures in back alley. I'm getting lost in my own background checks.
I threw up my notes to you. I was really excited. I just love it when Pat calls for a meanwhile, and I have on my notes meanwhile.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we were just in sync. Guys roasting. They were just roasting, chasing. Yeah. Meanwhile, I had it.
Yeah, it's a meanwhile. It's a total meanwhile moment. But Ed with Tayshia is where we should
Jesus fucking
dedicate
Christ.
a little bit of time to.
A tattletale show starts.
He says that Chasen threatened him. Ed, you're losing us.
Yep.
You're losing us, buddy.
We'll give you once, and then we might forgive or forget.
I'll give you once, especially if you end it with, you just say chickle legs. Haven't lost me, but now you're losing me, Luca. Okay. All right, so this is where I have it. I just think that she's such a professional here because this is part of like the fake bullshit. But it's so Bachelorette-y. She's like, I won't stand for anyone feeling physically threatened here. Tayshia, who gives a shit? Let them fucking kill each other back there. As long as it's not Brendan or Ivan, you're fine.
How about tomorrow's date, Tayshia?
Yeah.
Why don't you shut up, you hypocrite?
Who gives a shit?
Can I play a clip?
Well, Nick opened his mouth he wanted to say something, I think.
Just that fuck Ed, and I will take your bet. $100 to $100. That's this man. He may be in paradise, but he ain't walking down with no baby.
Oh, he's bringing a baby because we got to remind the audience who this idiot was. Here you go.
Shake.
You saw the shake.
Shake that booty.
Okay.
I just
Why are you
needed
saying
action
that?
because I said shake, you said shake.
Oh, God. Okay.
And then they said shake.
Hey, I want to play a clip here. So after Ed, this little bitch, rats out Chasen again.
Okay. Yikes.
Tayshia does that speech that you basically just mentioned. Then she pulls Chasen aside to chastise Chasen. Here's the clip, and you tell me what you think of this. Here's the clip.
Why haven't you just sat him down and just talked to him like a man? Be like, listen, I need you to stop doing this. Like, let me move on with my relationship the way that I want to.
I believe he pretty much did all of those things you just listed, Tayshia. That's where I started feeling for Chasen. Again, he's just on TV. We know why he's here. He said those things to Claire. Who cares? A lot of the guys said a lot of crazy things to Claire, too.
Yeah.
Is Meathead Ed on their dick, too? Like, Ed, why don't you, over there, a little tattletale, why don't you start, obviously he kept records on this stuff. Why don't you tell what everybody said about Claire?
Yeah.
I mean, they all said a bunch of dumb shit to that crazy 39-year-old haircutter from Sac that has possums in her backyard.
It is
a lot of possums.
It is just a wild, stark contrast when you lay it out. Like what we have now, this woman.
Yeah.
It's
unbelievable how many possums she had in the backyard. It was
I bet
a ball of them that were fucking and biting and fighting. It was disgusting.
I'd be willing to bet a lot of money that Tayshia has 0 possums in her backyard.
No, it wasn't. It was so many possums that it was kind of like a carnival game where you try to guess how many jelly beans are in the container. It was that many of them. You get lost in the. I'm going to move on now.
All right, so after he talks to Tayshia, Chasen goes back, and I personally would have taken a swing at this idiot.
Okay.
But Chasen doesn't. He actually kind of apologizes to Meathead Ed.
Yeah.
And it was not, it didn't end well.
No, Meathead Ed's like a little chihuahua.
All right, so they're having this conversation, and then Zach, the Lisperer, he makes a colossal mistake.
Love that.
He breaks up the argument.
Yeah.
What are you doing here, you dummy? Have you ever seen this show? Let them destroy each other.
Yeah.
Tayshia's just around the corner. She's going to come around and see these guys have not listened to her direction. They're arguing. They're making a big kasha out of all of this, and she's going to send them both packing.
Yeah, you gotta be the Astros here, you know.
It was a very selfish act by Zach C. This conflict was kind of a trigger that could send this addict back into relapse.
Right.
So he just
Did you
was
say
like,
conflict?
possibly.
Oh, it just triggered. I saw 2 fish fighting.
Hey, one little interaction before the rose ceremony. Zach, the Lisperer.
Dude, I have such a good name for him later. It's not as good. I called him the Vein Hunter because but Lisper is so fantastic. Love that.
So get this. This guy's a little high on himself. I don't know why. Because he's not a good-looking guy.
He's been through it all, Pat.
Oh, sure.
He's thought about.
He's got to get high on something.
Yeah.
He tells Aisha, he has the temerity to tell her, people are always asking him casually, Zach, how are you single at 36? I was thinking, no one except your mother has ever asked you that, Zach. You are a homely guy, an ex-drug addict, and you're the Lisperer! Big turn off! Big turn off!
Shooting liquid in your toes, and your buddies are like, how are you still single? I've used this web too many times.
Yeah, the answer to why you're still single at 36 is the 12 years you don't remember.
All right. And listen, we do completely realize that addiction is a very, very tough thing for people to go through. And it turns them into some of the most annoying people on planet Earth.
We, as a group,
Yes.
like heightening kind of the little nuggets we'll learn about these guys.
Sure, because what else is there?
We did a little digging and found out this guy is a former addict.
Yeah.
And I will make jokes about it until this man is eliminated, and probably
By
after.
drugs?
Huh? Well, that's his most likely demise, but
Right.
But no, not necessarily.
Okay. All right, let's get to the elimination. Pat, who do we got staying with us?
Oh, you want a roll call?
Please.
Nick, you want a roll call?
I'm actually.
Birdies want a roll call. Here's a roll call. Hit the music. Here's who's staying. Okay, Zach. He's the guy who's banging your girlfriend and you're pissed because his face looks like it could iron shirts because it's flat. Get it? Riley, he's boring, no shot. Kenny, the boy band manager, whose best year in closing ass was clearly 2002. I've already addressed my reasons for this. Ben, not a looker. Looks like Mr. Soil from A Bug's Life. Look it up. He's ugh. DeMar, coming in hot with that pink suit jacket. Well done. You look like the fifth member of Jodeci. Dirty John guy, a.k.a. Bennett. Spencer, a really good-looking guy, a potential dark horse. Jordan, a.k.a. Poindexter. You forgot your pocket protector, you fucking nerd. Noah, who's obviously a gay guy, also a traveling nurse with a distracting mustache. Whoever told you to keep that thing secretly hates you. Asian. Blake, the most damaged guy I've ever seen. Definitely a steroid dealer. Meathead Ed and Chasen.
Holy smoke a guacamole. You did fucking fantastic.
Who goes home? No clue. No clue.
Right.
Yeah. No clue.
Yeah.
I have no idea who those guys are.
It is
I actually wrote down who went home.
It's the gym owner and then the two new guys.
But I did want to do just a
please.
quick list off the guys who went home.
Yeah.
We had Wimp Pussy, some guy, and another guy.
Look at that. Roll call light. You guys both did fantastic.
I'm pissed that you quit. One of my favorite nicknames you've ever given to a guy was gym owner Wimp Pussy. You didn't have the gym owner part. He just was a gym owner. You called him Wimp Pussy, and I bring it up all the time, and you never really fucking acknowledge it. It's your nickname.
Play it close to the vest, man.
All right, so Ed says that Chasen's got his first club appearance coming up with his new 6,000 followers. The guy's got fucking, I mean, not quite bars, but fire nonetheless.
You know how I mentioned how he got the perfect SAT math score?
Yeah.
That was Bennett bringing up why he would dominate Chasen in like a word thing,
Yeah,
which
didn't
just
make any sense.
Again, shows Bennett's
Line
an idiot.
cook.
Bennett's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, Bennett isn't dumbass.
I'm glad you picked up. It was convoluted way where I was.
No,
going,
I
but yeah.
completely get it. Not to get back to Burning Love, but Bennett is Rob Hubel's character. He's a prince. He's a complete dumbass. All right, so it's unbelievable the archetypes in this show. They're so pathetic. So it was always going to be Chasen, though, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
It's television. Got to keep him around. I thought for the 2-on-1, which I feel like is a trope that's starting to vanish from this show. I don't remember if we had one last year. We may have one every year.
Oh, there's always 2-on-1s. We didn't get one with Claire, obviously, because it was too early in her
There was one with
journey.
Peter.
McKenna and
The girl that she gave the speech to that was
Yeah.
written by the same guy who wrote Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream.
Okay, great. So
who was making McKenna feel small?
next day, Ed is hitting arms. I mean, upside down bowling pin. Gotta stop it. You know. All right. So Shitface
Victoria
walks in.
F sat on his lap and he sent her home that night. It wasn't Victoria F.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So Shitface walks in, drops a group date on the guys. Nick, who do we got? You just did a phenomenal roll call. Your lungs are hurting.
We have, maybe this is the time to address it. I'll leave them for last. Brendan, Joe, Jordan, Spencer, Ben, Ed, Chasen.
And?
Easy.
All right, what's going on there, Nick?
Yeah,
with
what
Easy?
happened? I don't care.
We've been seeing a lot of Easy. He's big, barrel-chested, and not afraid to speak his mind.
No, he isn't.
All of a sudden, this episode, he's nowhere to be found. Why? Just in parts, because he does have good reaction shots. We're still going to use those, even if we're trying to wipe you off the face of the earth. Reality Steve tweeted, serious, quote unquote, allegations are about to come out about Easy. The man forced his giant barrel-chested body on some woman, it sounds like. And
can you imagine being reality?
Thanks for cutting that off.
Sorry.
No, I'm sincere. Thank you for cutting that off.
So, can you imagine being reality, Steve? Just like, wait, what? The 19th guy on The Bachelorette did what?
I would say he was like 8th or 9th at this point, but either way.
Give me the scoop. Who's got it? Oh my God, you're a cockroach.
But he's got to be making, I think, millions of dollars at this point. Sure. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to act like we're going to go up to his car when he's parked on the side of the road and just siphon his gas. Yeah. I want Reality Steve's money.
Yeah.
That's why we do this show.
He's coming out. I'm drinking all of his gas. He's like, what's going on?
Well, there's 3 of us. One of you,
Reality
you bald.
Steve?
All right. So, it's going to be a showdown for the ages. We're going to get Jason versus Ed. But first up, we've got 2.
Hold on. You didn't even set up what the day of the fight.
I'm about to, fuck schmuck. We've got 2 badass women rolling with Tayshia. That is Amy Dumas and Tatiana Suarez. I did a little digging. I know Nick's going to shed a little bit more light on this.
I'm not. I forgot.
4-0. In the UFC.
Knew she was early in her career.
2 stoppages. Well, she's got 8 fights under her belt. Some in a Gladiator, but it's pretty impressive. She's a talent. But they do a little warm up and they tell the guys they're going to be wrestling with one another this evening.
All right. So this brought up something that I've had a lot of trouble with over the years, which is the conflation of wrestling, fake wrestling, where people wear underoos and then pretend to fight in a ring, versus technicians,
people beating
physical
the shit out of each other. Yeah.
They are opposites, polar opposites. It's like an architect who makes a 20-story building and a kid that has Tinker Toys or something. Like that. They're not the same fucking thing. One eats his boogers and the other is a fucking genius at their craft.
Right. There's a ballerina on steroids and then there's a Spartan.
Yes. Can we please stop conflating these 2 things, the fake racing thing with someone who actually is an expert at their sport?
And the saddest part is the Tinker Toys version is the one that is known as professional wrestling.
Ugh.
Well, the other one's ultimate, so,
And you can't make a living on it because no one wants to watch it.
Okay, so we've got a live audience of the rest of the guys, and the event is going to be colored by no one other than Wells. Where's Willard when you need him, I'll tell you where he is. He's heading up fucking Da Nang straight into the heart of darkness. Captain Willard. It's an Apocalypse Now joke. I always right.
Tight.
Nice. I was not a fan of Fred Willard his last couple years.
Oh, how interesting.
His one-liners on this show were a little disjointed, kind of old, came off old-timey.
He was losing his mind, shitting his pants.
Exactly. I would say, given the performance of Wells here as co-anchor of this, in fact, fight night, I would argue if Fred was pulled out of the grave, his dead corpse from the earth, and put him in a chair sitting there.
Yeah. He would be funnier than Wells.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Do you notice they didn't cut to Wells once after he'd been... Why not just get a clean edit and cut him out entirely?
I'm a degree of separation away from golfing with a bunch of these guys. Seriously. I have a friend that golfs with them.
With Wells?
Wells and fucking Dean, they all go golfing. I golfed with Dean. Dean stinks.
Ulgert?
Yeah, Ungler.
Deanie baby.
Yeah, he stinks. Looked
he does.
fantastic, though, in golf clothes. I mean, what a handsome guy.
Please go golfing with Wells, but
Yeah,
I can't
I'd love
agree
to go
enough.
golfing
Yeah,
with
they
Wells.
didn't add enough. They love hammering this sideline reporter, color guy, play-by-play thing. There's different iterations. It's never good. They're going to the Wells one too many times.
Can I say... Oh, nice. Can I say this? How bad Wells had to have been for them not to have a single 3-second clip to just put in there as comic relief. 0. He delivered a zilcho.
He just kept talking about Sarah Hyland's autoimmune deficiency.
Yeah. Okay, so the guys wrestle.
That's his wife, and she has autoimmune deficiency. Do you know she that?
So the guys wrestle around a little bit, get oiled up, and then we've got the showdown of the second episode after the mid-season premiere. It's Jason versus Ed. Now, Ed, in a usual suspects type twist, walks over to Shitface and says, my shoulders are going to explode out of their sockets if I do this. So I'm going to have to step this one out.
Pretty amazing of Meathead Ed. You couldn't have brought this up 2 hours ago before you slathered on all that goddamn oil.
He was thinking about whether or not he wanted to do it.
Yeah, I think he got a little intimidated once he saw Jason remove that tight, medium-sized
Toes
t-shirt.
were hanging over the diving board.
Maybe this is to be commended of Ed.
Yeah.
But I am much too prideful to ever look like this much of a bitch on television. I would let Jason.
That's that toxic masculinity that's coming out of your balls.
No, that's manhood, Dylan.
Yeah. No. Listen, it's an embarrassing look to stand down from this. But also, if you know, I think it's pretty calculated because if you know you're just going to get tossed
I would let
around.
Jason pin me down and have his way with me before I stepped out of this competition
Good for
and
you.
said I had
Good for
bad
you.
shoulders.
All right. Because Ed would literally be subjecting everybody to a horrific sight of his huge little arms falling out of their sockets, Noah steps up. He jumps over the fence and Jason kind of, ragdolls him around a little bit. But Noah gets the ultimate prize. He gets to go on the group date. Now, there seems to be this narrative that Noah is stealing time and all hell is going to break loose. Who gives a shit? He jumped the fence.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
How
he
did
made
he-
a move. This is day 2. Good on him. I mean, he's
I
a
agree.
little weirdo, but...
I'll tell you, once he removed that mustache, man, it transformed him.
All right, let's get to the night date.
Night date!
Noah steps up first, and this is where I'm like, Svengalis, take your foot off the gas a little bit, okay? We can see your strings. We know what you're trying to do. I guarantee you, somebody was like, hey, Ben, hang back. She's going to come see you. Don't just hang back. She's going to come see you. And then, they concoct this whole Noah thing. And it's just like, Svengalis, take your foot off the gas. We can see your strings.
It was still fun watching. This was the most enjoyable part. I loved seeing Ben, who obviously thought he was a front runner, get pushed to the sideline.
Sure. It was hilarious that, him and Tasha sits down. She says, hey, I got an idea. Why don't you shave that shit off your face?
That mustache sucks. It's jarring.
Now, translated into Noah's speak, Tasha asked him to cut away a huge part of his life. We've seen a couple red flags from the guys. Mm-hmm. This, if it's said without sarcasm, which I'm not sure that it was said in that way, is a really, really concerning thing.
I agree. You shouldn't do it, although I do think it's a game changer for Noah, although he is a little too young. 25 years old. I don't think Tasha's going to pick him based on
I don't care if he shaves it off, but to frame it as just like a throwaway, she asked me to cut away a big part of my life. You got that. You got the 11 children, wherever the fuck he's from.
Yeah. There's some weird stuff going on.
Don't like it. Don't like it.
Hey, sidebar, a little a shameless promotion myself. My book coming out, Cracking the Code and How to Close More Ass for Less Money.
Exclusively to Patreon.
There is a chapter I have in there, okay, where I describe things you can do to yourself to change your look. One of them, real quickly, I call the suit effect. You wear a suit out and get some nice clothes. Women will say, look how handsome that guy is. Second one is if you got a big fat face or something like that, grow a beard.
Grow a beard.
Grow a beard.
And I just really want to emphasize to the listeners out there how real that book is.
It's 200 pages.
250.
It's actually written how to close ass for cheap.
It's 110,000 words. I mean, the guy wrote a book. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable.
Patreon.com/Another Podcast Network.
All right, so.
Can I do it meanwhile?
And it's a tome of knowledge, too. Go for
he
it.
loves that word.
Meanwhile, Boring Ben talks about having a nightcap. Hey, Ben, how old are you? Who says nightcap anymore? You Jack Tripper from Three's Company? That's a 70s phrase.
You say
nightcap?
You say nightcap all the time.
No, I've never said that.
I say nightcap all the time. We've talked about
nightcap?
This is a term.
You do if you do it ironically.
No. We've talked about this. 1970s terms. All in the Family. They're saying YOLO. And no one says it for a while. And then 2020, everybody's saying
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Archie Bunker said YOLO?
Archie Bunker goes, they're like, we'd like a black person to come in. And he says, well, YOLO.
He said, hey, Dolores, catch me outside. How about that?
Okay, so Brendan and, Ed asks the gang if anyone would ever consider Noah a threat on the outside. Hey, Ed, you're losing me. Come on. All right, Brendan and Tayshia are up next. They are falling in love. Hey, Brendan. Hey, Tayshia, can I have my breath back, please? I love these two. They're great together. All right, Jordan is chatting with Tayshia about the fact that he's a Leo. Jordan, just walk out of the property.
You should Leo.
And Noah comes back and is interrupting not only Leo Jordan, but Ben's perfect love story. She does not get to speak with Ben, and this fucking guy thinks that he's above Mickey's rules. This is this hot streak that he thinks he's on. Little does he know he's putting Tayshia's life on the line when he asks for time with her after the night is over. I can see a scenario where she goes, okay, and she's just unsure about what to do, and he gets a call, She said, what? All right.
Well, if you do the ring, then you can't just...
All right, it has been a long evening, but we will be back next week. That about wraps the show up, right?
Just a couple things we need to close up. She does shave Noah's mustache off, and she says, wow, you actually look good. And she meant that. That was a very earnest moment there. Yep. I don't think she's really into this guy. He gets an A for most improved, though. I think he still has issues. Then Ben is very upset because Ben is Ben the bitch now.
Oh, whoa.
Ben the bitch.
Hear him talking about your guy like that?
Yeah, it's not cool, and we'll see if...
Also, soldier, so a little dicey. He wasn't a Marine or anything, though.
He wasn't? I thought you said Ben was a Marine.
No, he's in the Army.
He's in the Army.
Yeah, more of a logistics branch. Than
Fucking
in the rear with the gear.
Yeah. Pauly Shore was in the Army.
Okay, and thank you for your service. Jesus Christ. Do we do a good job alienating people? We'll be back next week with another brand spanking new episode of Clear His Throat. Until then, jump in the iTunes ratings and reviews. Tell us what you love. Tell us what you don't love. And if you don't love something, wear a fucking name tag. Also, go to patreon.com/Another Podcast Network. PMZ, Flavor of Love. What else do we have? T-shirts are coming out. And
Wine Hag T-shirt.
Wine Hag T-shirts are coming out. If you loved our Love is Blind recaps. Tons more stuff. We'll see you next week. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Pat, say goodbye.
Later, guys.